If you guys are in need of any grinding services, hit up my guy Rose NBA on Twitter. From domination to getting you guys a 95 plus overall hidden gem, he does it all. What's up, y'all? It's Ty. In this video today, we're going to be going over the top small forwards right now in NBA 2K25 MyTEAM and ranking them on a tier list from S tier to F tier. Now, guys that were featured on the shooting guard list outside of Kawhi Leonard are not going to be featured on the small forward list. Why? Because they're on the shooting guard list. If I have them there, that's probably where they're going to play, such as a guy like Franz Wagner, Dr. J, Paul George. They're all on the shooting guard list. So then watch that, come back to this so you don't get super mad at me. However, in the comments, I was getting cooked. You would be surprised at how many people really love this card, man. How many people just are so rich on this game that they've ran Michael Jordan and they swear to this card. This card is not that good. I'm telling you right now in front of you guys that I'd much rather have Dr. J than Michael Jordan. And here comes, oh, but their stats. Ty, Michael Jordan's way better stat. I don't care. Dr. J's got the best release in the game. He's 6'7". He's movement's elite. He's got a great leaner. And so you can tell, and I'm going to say this for y'all. Y'all can tell who the super casuals are, who the super spenders are, and who actually knows how to play this game. So I'm just saying my tier lists are the best tier list on this on the YouTube app. So just realize that as you do watch this. Jason Tatum, good, not great. And I think when you're looking at these small 40s, probably A tier. I don't love Tatum though. I think his release is pretty average. I think as far as an overall player on this game, he's fine. His height is fine. You know, he's just a fine, in my opinion, small forward on this game. There's nothing that's game-breaking about Tatum, though, and that's the one thing that I just keep coming back to is it's like, yeah, he is fine, but is Tatum a guy I'd spend a ridiculous amount of coins for or MT for? No. Like, I just don't like him. And you'll see by who I ultimately do end up having higher than Tatum that I just really do not love the card on this game. Larry Bird up next. Plays some defense. But as far as an overall card, I think C tier. Not worthless, but he's not great. He's not a card that I would ever recommend picking up because I honestly think his price is still pretty high right now. Not a big fan of Larry Bird. Cedric Maxwell, here's the situation. His 3-ball is super low. However, his release is really good. He plays a lot of defense. He's a tough guy to rank. I'm going to throw him at C tier with Larry Bird. It's preference between the two. I just wish Cedric Maxwell had a higher 3-ball. Next up, we got Gerald Wallace. Now, Gerald Wallace is another interesting guy because I don't love his release. However, I think his defense is good. B tier for Gerald Wallace, but I don't love Gerald Wallace. So just realize that. Gerald Wallace is good, but I don't love the card. Dennis Rodman. I don't know, because the problem with this in Dennis Rodman, and here's where I'm struggling. It's because if you look defensively, he's like the best card in the game. But if you look offensively, he doesn't do anything for you on the court. So 72-3. Honestly, you guys can hate me, but I'm throwing him right there with Cedric Maxwell. To me, he does not fit what I'm looking for. Galaxy Ope with LeBron James. He's S tier. He's S tier. And I'll tell you guys when a card deserves to be an S tier. LeBron James deserves to be an S tier. I don't know, you guys don't have to get mad at me, but he's so good on this game. Calvin Natt's pretty good as well. Is he as good as Jason Tatum? Probably not, but I do like Calvin Natt. A little undersized, but plays good defense, knocks down shots. I'm going to go B tier with Calvin Natt. I actually really do like the card. Pink Diamond Kevin Durant stinks. He stinks. Honestly, I'm going to go D tier. I'm telling you right now, Kevin Durant is not good on this game. And I don't know who needs to hear it, but that's the facts of the situation. KD is not good whatsoever on this game. If you're running him, I'm sorry. Danny Granger up next. He's fine. Honestly, I think Danny Granger is good enough to put him at B tier. Has a good release. 6'9". Gonna play solid enough defense. I think he's better than Larry Bird. I think he's better than Cedric Maxwell. Is he better than Dennis Rodman, though? Here's where I struggle. I think I got to go B tier with Rodman, although I do not love the card, especially offensively. I think defensively is enough to go at B tier. So this is where I'm at. I don't love it. I want you guys to know and realize I don't love it. But it's ultimately where I'm at. Lamar Odom, pretty gross card. I'm going to go C tier. But I do not love Lamar Odom whatsoever on this game. I just think he's mediocre. Like, there's been games where Lamar Odom's had a good card. This is not one of them. Brandon Ingram up next. Ew, D tier. Hopefully the Timberwolves, like, trade for Brandon Ingram or do something. I'm tired of watching their, horrible offense continue moving forward. But Brandon Ingram, On this game, D tier, not great. Rudy G, I like you, but you're probably only B tier. Like, I like Rudy because his animations, his player build's good. But if you look at the stats of Rudy, it's honestly not that impressive. So I think B tier probably is the right spot for Rudy. Is a small forward you can use. You can obviously have a lot of success with him, but B tier is ultimately where he belongs. LeBron James, Pink Diamond, S tier. And I will always hype up LeBron because he is an absolute beast, an absolute stud on this game, and he deserves S tier. Some of these cards don't deserve S tier. LeBron James does. Both of them. Giannis Antetokounmpo, S tier as well. This is how I'd rank my S tier probably right now. I think I like Giannis maybe more at power forward, so when we get to that power forward tier list, I probably have to include Giannis in there. But Giannis, an absolute stud on this game. 6'11", look, his release isn't super quick, but you can definitely green with it super easy. And it's the same thing with the Pink Diamond Giannis. Like, I'm still running Pink Diamond Giannis at power forward, and the card is just fine. Next up, Tim Thomas. Yo, they ruined Tim Thomas. I'm going to go C tier, but I don't know, man. It is so sad because I'll even bring up the card. What was it? 2K25 where we saw this Tim Thomas card? I think it was. The Pink Diamond. Man, do y'all remember this Pink Diamond Tim Thomas? No, that's this year's. Where's my 23 Tim Thomas? Like, hello? Hello? Oh, here we go. About to say, what year was it where we saw this Tim Thomas? Do y'all remember this card? It is so sad how we went from this card, who had the best release in the game for his time, to this card right here in Tim Thomas. It's sad to see the backtracking. It's the same thing with like Ricky Davis, who once upon a time had like the best offensive card in the game. See where he's at now. Jamal Mashburn honestly isn't bad. I'm going to go C tier. If you chose him out of your My Team Festival pack, you got rewarded. Jamal Mashburn's good. I still think Chauncey Billups was the right option just because defensively he's a good point guard. And especially like if you're looking to start your team, it's important to have a point guard. But Jamal Mashburn's a just, look, he's a small forward that isn't going to hurt you on the court. He's fine and can definitely play his role. Josh Hart, I don't love him. Undersized. He gets good animations, though. I'm going to go D tier because he's 6'4". But he does get some good animations. So, I look, I'm not going to just sit here and hate on Josh Hart the entire day. I just wish he was taller. It really is that simple. If Josh Hart was taller, he'd be up there higher on this tier list. Next up, Paolo Banchero. He's going A tier. No. I think at this stage, Banchero's got to go A tier. I like Banchero enough to maybe debate putting him at S tier. However, I don't think he is S tier. I want to debate putting him at S tier, but I think when it comes down to it, he is an A tier caliber small forward. Jonathan Isaac, another A tier caliber small forward. Now, obviously, I'd probably rank him like this. I do think I don't know. Maybe Jason Tatum's not better than Banchero. I don't know. I'll let you guys debate that. But I do think at this stage, I still think Banchero is more complete than Jonathan Isaac. But I think Jonathan Isaac does enough at his height to deserve A tier. You guys can let me know your thoughts, but this is what I've got at A tier so far, and I honestly like it. Hedo Turkoglu, C tier. Not great, but he's not worthless. Like, if you've got Hedo, he can play a little ball. He's just not great. Bobby Jones up next. Gross. Like, Bobby Jones can't even shoot, can he? Like, I'm pretty sure Bobby Jones has like a 20-some three. Let me look, because I want to make sure I'm not just lying to you guys. He has a 53 ball. Okay, so I mean, maybe you can green the occasional one, but he can't shoot. Defensively, he's good, but he's D tier. If you're not going to be able to shoot on this game, I'm not going to hype you up. Sean Marion up next. Okay. This is tough, but I think he's better than Dennis Rodman. It's tough, but I think Sean Marion's more complete than Dennis Rodman. I'm going to throw him at A tier, but he's at the lower end of A tier. Barely squeaking in there, but I do think he is an A tier caliber player. Pink Diamond Kawhi. So tough. I think Pink Diamond Kawhi is A tier as well. Not a card I necessarily love, but I do think the card ultimately deserves to be an A tier. I think Kawhi does enough defensively and green shots to be an A tier. Gosh, this gets tough. Because I really like Rui as well, but I think Rui is B tier. And I hate doing this for Rui Hachimura, who I really do like. But Rui's release leaves something to be desired. And I think if you're comparing him to Paolo Banchero, comparing him to Jonathan Isaac, Sean Marion, Kawhi Leonard, Pink Diamond, I just think Rui's a step below. I just think he's a step below. However, I think he is probably the best guard at B tier. You could argue Dennis Rodman, but I think it probably is Rui Hachimura. Anton Jameson. Look, I hate this because Anton Jameson is such a complete card in this game. And I say complete cards a lot, like with Rui Hachimura, Anton Jameson. They're these cards that can do nearly everything on the court. However, their releases stink. Like Anton Jameson's release is that Brook Lopez base. It is absolutely horrible. And so it's tough because he does everything else on the court well. I'm going to put him at C tier, but I really don't like that release whatsoever. Adam Morrison up next, a weird kind of interesting card. I'm going to go A tier with Adam Morrison because offensively, he might be the best small forward outside of LeBron James on this list. Defensively, leaves a lot to be desired. I'm going to go low end of A tier for Adam Morrison. I don't love the card. I don't think he's worth his price, but I do think he's the low end of A tier. Hami up next, C tier at this stage. I mean, you could maybe argue B tier, but at this stage, he is just undersized. I just think there are small forwards that just give me slightly more than a guy like Hami at this stage of the game. Draymond Green, a card I like. I'm going to go A tier with Draymond. I don't like my list. I don't like my list. Because how am I guess, here's what I can say. I was about to say, how am I supposed to tell you that Draymond Green is better than Dennis Rodman? But I found my answer. Draymond Green shoots the ball way better than Dennis Rodman. So like, I shouldn't have to explain anything else. He's going to shoot the ball way better than Dennis Rodman. So who cares what people think? Draymond Green, A tier. Jalen Johnson, honestly, this is me being honest with you guys. I've never used the card. Honestly, I've rarely played against the card. So I don't really know for Jalen Johnson. But I don't mind what the card looks like. So I'm going to go C tier, but you could argue B tier. Honestly, I'm going to put him in B tier. I think he does enough to be B tier. Long, lengthy, I don't know, though. He might not. I don't know. This is a tough one for me. But I think right now, I'm going to put him at that B tier. Last but certainly not least, Galaxy Opal Kawhi. This is a tough one. Because at the end of the day, 2K, if you grinded everything, basically gave us this Galaxy Opal Kawhi for free. Now, at the start of this event, nobody probably thought we were going to get as many Dark Matter snowmen as we got. And so nobody probably bought any, or not bought any, but nobody probably grinded, or saved their snowmen is what I'm trying to say. And so sure, Galaxy Opal Kawhi ended up being free, but nobody knew it was going to happen. He's S tier. If you get Kawhi Leonard, he is one of the best small forwards on the entire game. Now, I'm not even going to have anybody at F tier. Just going to delete this tier, which is good. I like, honestly, not having anybody at F tier. But as far as an overall tier list, I don't necessarily like my A and B tier. I think my C tier is fine. I think my D tier is fine. I think my A tier is fine. I don't like my A and B because I feel like, they kind of join together. But you guys can let me know your thoughts. Between A and B tier, who would you guys move up and who would you guys move down? For me, I'd have to move Adam Morrison down if I were to, and I'd have to move probably Dennis Rodman up, although like the problem for Dennis Rodman is it's just his three ball. But maybe I like this. I don't know. You let me know whether you like it down below in the comments, as you normally do. But just know if I don't like what you're telling me, I might respond. People saying, oh, Ty, Dark Matter, MJ is this and that. Man, shut up. I'm not trying to hear that about Michael Jordan, who is 9 million MT, who nobody can get, who still does have one of the worst leaners on the game, who is only 6. Man, I'm not even trying to argue with y'all. So that's going to wrap it up. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe if you are new, and as always, man, I love you guys. Have a blessed day.